Hi darlings, thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. And today I have a Bible journaling processing for you. And this is more of a finishing touches video. So I'm going to explain a little bit more. I recently went, as you know, if you follow me here on the channel, I recently went to a retreat where I was also Bible journaling, but of course I decided to take my study Bible instead of taking my journaling Bible because let's face it, my journaling Bibles are pretty heavy. So the last year when I went, I took my small journaling Bible, but that journaling Bible has now has since been completely filled, and so it's on my shelf. And so I've been using this Interleaved Bible and in some other Bibles, but all of them were a little bit too heavy. So I took a page out of Taryn's. If you do not follow her, she's Taryn at Wonderfully Made Handcrafting, and I'm going to link her YouTube channel below. What she was doing was, because her Interleaved Bible was really chunky, and so it was hard for her to actually do her process videos or actually journal in her Bible. She was actually using extra pages and journaling outside of her Bible, then going back in and gluing those into her Bible. Now, fast forward to the retreat. I thought it was a great idea. I was like, wow, that's genius. I should keep that in mind for when my Bible gets chunky. Well, the retreat time came and I was like, this would be the perfect time to try out this trick I learned from Taryn. And so she's super sweet. If you haven't, she actually was the one that hosted the retreat as well. If you haven't seen her channel, check it out. But so while I was on the retreat, I worked on several pages. And these were pages that I worked on either pattern paper like this one, or also I used some hymnal paper. I also have some that I worked on. This one is worked on the index portion of a hymnal, so not actual a sheet of music, but the index portion. And so I created these, and these are fully ready to go ahead and enter into my Bible. But of course, they do fit perfectly in here, but it leaves a little border a little border along the sides of the page. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that in, glue these into my Bible, and add the finishing touches. So I thought I would bring you along. And of course, I have pulled some things that I'm going to be using, some distressed oxides. I have Victorian velvet, aged mahogany, and peeled paint, because these are the colors I think will fit best with these. I have this washi tape that I've been obsessed with. This is from Creative Retreat. Is a hymnal washi, and I've been using it for everything. I have a couple of this is an old Afflictions stencil from By the Well for God, and this is the Stitch Houndstooth. This is from the September kit. And I have my contour round brushes, and that is it. Let's get to it. I'll pull out some glue and let's dig in. Okay, darling, so I'm going to start with my page for the Wonderfully Handmade Crafting Retreat. This one I am using some peeled paint. That is the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide with my round contour brush. And I'm just going all the way around the edges. I wanted to use a color that would pop. Since there's a little bit of this green right there under the little campers, I thought it would be fun to pick a color that would make it pop, and just a little bit lighter, because there are some dark colors on this page. So here I made the mistake of using some tape runner. As you guys know, I do not like using tape runner in my Bible. I just don't feel like it does well with layers or with lots of texture or bulk. And so after I actually go in and use the tape runner, I actually go back with my favorite Tombow Mono liquid glue, and I add it, and it works so much better. So I actually don't use my tape runner adhesive again, because even though it's a good one, this is a new one from scrapbook.com. It works for other paper crafting, but for Bible journaling, I just don't know. With the textures, it just doesn't seem to stick very well. Okay, over here on the right-hand side, I'm going to block out some of the verses that I am focusing on in Hebrews chapter 10. And I also grabbed some of an extra ephemera piece from the digitals. We got some physical ones, but I had already printed the digitals. And so I grabbed a little bracelet that says Blessed Assurance and glued that to the right-hand side. Okay, on to the second page. I am now going to be journaling day 8 of Hints and Whispers from By the Well for God. I took this kit as well for me to work on it. And first I'm going to block out the verse I'm focusing on, which is here in Exodus. Chapter 11, verse 17. And I'm going to be using the stencil from this month's kit as well. And I'm using the color Age Mahogany with Distress Oxides, or the Distress Oxides, with my round contour brush. I accidentally mixed the two brushes up that I was going to use. So there is some blue overlay there, but that's okay because you can't see it too much. And it actually made the mahogany color a little bit deeper, which I actually love. So I might be using that kind of combination soon. So again, here I'm just using the stencil going all the way around and really getting some color onto those corners. And then I don't focus on the middle. And then here I need to cut off this little rose because it's not going to go into the gutter of my page. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it on the right page. That way it's a little bit of a continuation. I use my Mono Tombow glue, and I'm going to adhere this here, adding it to the gutter and kind of folding it over onto the page, and then making sure all of my corners are stuck down. I add some glue to that piece of the flower, and then that kind of continues it over on the right hand side. Love how this turned out. I think this is probably my favorite of all the pages, but the next one was super cool as well. So this one I actually built completely on pattern paper from By the Well for God. I created a little with the mushroom paper, I created like a little pocket, and in there I have tucked a piece of hymnal, where on the back of that I have a journaling card. And here I'm using an older stencil from By the Well for God. This is the Momentary Affliction stencil. I'm using the color Peeled Paint again because I wanted a color that would kind of stand out behind all the colors that are here. I didn't want it to blend in again. And you see me continuing to add some of this stencil because I wasn't seeing it pop enough at first. But then it came to me and I said, oh, let me do a tone on tone and add all the rest of the color that's on my brush all the way around. So I didn't dip it back in the ink. I'm just using the remaining color, and this looks so much better. I love the way that turned out. So again, I'm using the Tombow glue all the way around my edges. I even cover all of that stitching because I did stitch that pocket all the way around, and it still works beautifully. I love how this one turned out. I had already underlined the verses over on the right-hand side, and this one's in the book of Genesis. I really am so glad that I kind of followed Taryn's idea on this. Again, all of the props goes to her because I was able to journal all of these pages. I think I journaled 4 different pages while I was there outside of my Bible that I was able to come back and put into my Bible. So this one right here is another page, but I'm not quite done with it. Like, I know I need one more thing. I'm not completely finished with it, which is okay. So I'm just gonna leave this for a separate video, but I'll make sure to update you on this one. I love this little shaker DIY that I made. But so here's one. This is based off of the actual retreat. As you can see, it says MHC Retreat 2023. This is my story. This is our Blessed Assurance page. And this was based off of the first day devotional that we actually did at the retreat. So I'm loving this. I journaled this here in Hebrews chapter 10, and I kind of filled out all of the verses from 19 to 32 because I kind of centralized on all of those. And then my second page that I did while I was there, and this is in order, and I'm just gonna flip this over and then bring my little Bible under here. There we go. Was this one, and this is I believe day 8 of the oh, I'm losing my train of thought, of the Hints and Whispers by the Well for God devotional. I did take it with me, and I wanted to journal a couple of pages. So this was day 8. And I had already studied these days that I journaled while I was there, but I didn't have time to journal them. So what better time than at a retreat when you have all the time to craft? So this was day 8. I'm loving how this turned out. I didn't think it was gonna look this good, you guys, but I think that dark border around this light hymnal really, really makes it pop. So I love that. And then the last one was this one. This one I love as well. And I have to give Taryn props again. I tried the Snowfall with the distressed inks down here, and it didn't come out exactly like Taryn's, but pretty close. And so I tried a little bit down here, this technique, and I actually enjoyed it, so I might try that again. But I have tucked in here my journaling on the back that I did while I was there. And so this green background, I feel like it kind of contrasts with the oranges and the reds and the gray. I feel like it's a good contrast and kind of brings in some of that green from in here on the grass here, and then also some of it within this ribbon. So I really like that pop there. And I like that I added the stencil in the background, a little bit of tone on tone. Super, super cute. So that is it. That is the finishing touches. Again, I'm going to link Taryn below because she gave me this idea. Of course, she didn't use it in the same way I did, but I think it's a fun idea for you guys to try and create outside of your journal and then glue it inside of your Bible. And if you don't have a full page, you can even make it as a tip in, maybe like with some washi, and have a fold out. So yeah, this is it. So if you are new here, I hope you consider subscribing, hit the like button and notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. And thank you so much for joining me each and every video, darlings. God bless. Bye.